Hopefully you guys join back. Yikes. Hmm. Hi guys, I'm sorry. My phone, I do apologize. So, yeah, I mean, we're on a load right now picking up, and my phone started ringing. And when I picked up, it just kind of everything froze. So, I lost all of you guys now. So, hopefully, we can get caught up. We thought the men in black showed up to your door for Carrier 411. I mean, they can show up. I'll make them tea, you know? No, it was just, yeah, the broker was very excited that we got there early. um, 75 degrees in late October. Anyway, where were we? Here it's 80 degrees, I believe. Yesterday it was 90 degrees in California. Anyway, Carrier 411. Yeah, we were discussing, there were so many comments that I now lost, unfortunately, because of that phone call. It's annoying. um, I'm here driving my car to deliver a case of product 3 hours away. We good? Very good. Yeah, Carrier 411. Haven't even started CDL school yet, but signed the petition and shared it. Not much else I can do, but I admire your passion. Yeah, I mean, you have to fight against scams. This is a scam. May I suggest starting a petition on the government website? I think it's tied to the White House. I would love to. Can you, how do you do that? Can you give me insight on how to do that? I will start a petition anywhere. I'm going to, again, I'm going to send this petition to the Federal Trade Commission, to the FMCSA, to OIDA again, to Pete Buttigieg if I have to. I mean, he's part of the FMCSA, but he's part of the Department of Transportation. But I'll send it to everyone I have to. I just need someone to pay attention to it. I love the fact that one of the folks on here told me that I should send it to the Federal Trade Commission. I'm very, very thankful for that because I would not have known without that person. So if you guys know where else I can send this petition to, I would love to do so. My goal is just to get the right people looking at it and doing something about it. Dan, getting your senator's attention would be huge. Governor also. Those are the ones that can open up investigations. Absolutely. I don't trust Gavin Newsom with anything. I can't stand that governor, so no, not to the governor. Senator, maybe. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't like his face. I don't like his face. To me, he's not a good person. He reminds me of the CEO of Carrier 411 in terms of how he holds himself. Ah. How do you join mentorship for truck dispatch? I don't have a mentorship for truck dispatch. I do have a course on dispatching. It's on my website under dispatching course. Hey Miranda, where did you go last time? Yeah, American Dave. So I got a call from a broker because they were just checking in to make sure that my guy is making it to pick up on time. And when I answered the call, everything froze up and I couldn't get it back on. So I had to restart the live. Yeah. I love technology. I hate technology. I consider myself a very, I consider myself a pretty savvy person when it comes to technology, but clearly not savvy enough because everything kind of died after I took that call. Um, 411 is saying that will freight guard overseas dispatchers? What about all the brokers that is a great question. It's yeah, there is a new category saying that there is a freight guard. You can file a freight guard if a carrier employs or works with people who are based overseas, which is pretty much 50% of carriers who use dispatchers from other countries to save money. And yes, that is correct. There are a ton of brokers who are overseas. But see, this is a service for brokers. This carrier 411 makes its money from the brokers and the shippers. I mean, it's a terrible system. It's not a vetting tool. This is not a vetting tool. A vetting tool is CSA scores. That's a great vetting tool. Public information, you go on, you see accidents, you can see the inspection reports, you can see all of that. That is a vetting tool, okay. But when you allow any person who might be having a meltdown post whatever they want about a carrier and that threatens the carrier's business, and then you find out that these are baseless claims, yeah, that's not a vetting tool. Hi, Ron. Were you on the last live? I will try this again. I apologize. My technology is not listening to me. Hopefully I don't get any more calls from anyone who needs immediate attention. Did we hit the bottom yet, or there's no bottom at all? What do you think? Look, if you read articles, they're going to say we're at the bottom or the bottom is behind us. I think we are in no man's land right now. And the reason for that is the election. A lot of people are waiting for the results of the election to understand what their next move is going to be. So in 2 weeks' time, we might see a more clear picture, but right now everyone is kind of in waiting, holding their breath and waiting. Why, whenever MC gets renewed, broker didn't give us any load? They said your MC is 0 days of authority. Yeah, so Rubina, I have heard about that. I have heard that. What do you wait? Hold on. Renewed. I have heard that when you buy someone's aged MC, it's actually you're going not from day 0, but brokers don't want to work with you because they understand that it was a bot MC or something. Is that what you're talking about? I can get you some decent loads out of Iowa. News stations can get the word out. Fox 40 for me. Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I need I need bigger traction. See, like me, I'm the kind of person I can take my time on something, but you better believe that when I do make my move, I'm going to have receipts that are going to span 40 miles. So I need more signatures on that petition. I need people to understand that I'm not some crazy lady who is against a business making money and thinks that carrier 411 is no, I need signatures because I need people to understand that this affects carriers everywhere. And then I'm going to, for sure, consider maybe reaching out to the media. Maybe. I'm not sure about that, but maybe. But for sure, I'm going to send it to the FMCSA, the FTC, Pete Buttigieg, the OIDA, and anyone else I get recommended. Never mind, Biden axed the petition system. Oh, the White House petition? Got it. I am glad that I'm finally able to get on a live this time of day. Most people that get to 100,000 tend to go Hollywood, but not humble. Really? See, I don't watch enough. Like, I watch YouTube, but I watch news. I like watching news. I like watching cooking channels. I love watching cooking channels and then those funny videos or fails. That's what I use YouTube for the most part. Um, I haven't followed any YouTubers, like followed for a very long time. Although I do follow um, Mother Trucker. I follow ET Transport. They're great. Um, Someone else I follow, but that's just part of the news. I try to get my news. um, Broker. Whenever I have any small issues with the broker or the load, I just tell the broker, let me call the customer and see how we can resolve this. This issue usually, yeah. Yeah. I mean, resolving issues, sometimes, for the most part, I haven't had a hard time resolving issues with brokers for the most part, but there have been some that have been horrific. Any good news? No, I mean, no, good news. No, not really. Not yet. We're talking about carrier 411 here and trying to figure out what to do about this poopy system. I am good. Thank you for asking. I'm good. It's a Tuesday. Tomorrow I have to book a load from Colorado. So tomorrow I'm not going to be good. But in general, I'm good. um, if I buy an American truck, can I earn 3K minimum every month after expenses? So when I get asked these questions, can I earn a minimum of? I can't really answer it, unfortunately, because it depends on your cost per mile, where you run. It depends on so many factors. There is no clear-cut cookie cutter answer for that. It depends on your operations. Ahi, hello. Um, the thing is that, like, we same broker, but after MC get renew. But what do you mean your MC got renewed? An MC usually doesn't renew. What do you mean your MC got renewed? I've never heard of that. I know that there are some brokers, like we just had, we've been working with a broker for 5 years now. They switched to Highway. I'm sure you guys love Highway. They switched to Highway. A lot of brokers are now, like JB Hunt is one of them. You have to get reset up with them through Highway. And this one broker made us reset up, and we just failed the assessment because we have a California address and there's nothing we can do about it. That has happened where a broker we have worked with for years has refused to work with us because of a California address. That was because of Highway and their assessment. I don't like Highway. Rubina, a buddy of mine had his MC out of service and his trucking service agent fixed it, but the reset his whole MC to a brand new one. Yikes. Hi, CA. Ka? Wait, am I pronouncing that right? Ka? California? Thank you. How to fight bad report on my company? Yeah, that is an excellent question. Is it a freight guard report? Because if it's a freight guard report, now you have 72 hours from when the freight guard was filed to actually respond. Otherwise, it's there. Sign my petition and I'm going to bring it to as many folks as I can. But yeah, those freight guard reports are ridiculous. I mean, they're ridiculous. Oh, and for those of you who were, I know that there were a lot of people worried about freight guards saying, well, how will we find out if there's a freight guard against me? When a freight guard report is filed against the carrier, it's filed against their MC, you get an email to the email address that's on the FMCSA that you registered with for your authority or that you updated your authority with. So that email gets, that's the email you get, an email saying that you have a freight guard, you have 72 hours to respond. That's how you find out. If selfish mother trucker would quit trying to hog the spotlight, he would have your brilliant mind on his channel. Oh, I didn't know people don't like. I like him. His name is Alex, right? I enjoy his channel. He seems to be very down to earth. I mean, I've never talked to him, but he seems to be pretty down to earth, and he definitely delivers. I mean, we're both of our channels are on news. Mine is more geared to the market, and more on what affects trucking, whereas his is more everyday things. But I don't mind his channel. I don't know him as a person, and he seems okay. Do you think the market will be good in the future? I think eventually the bubble will burst. Eventually the bubble will burst. Yeah, and the market is going to be good. But you have to remember, usually in trucking, everything is cyclical. So even after the market is good, what usually happens is the market is good, carriers come in, dilute the situation, rates go down. Rates go down, carriers can't make enough money, they go out, rates go up because there's not enough capacity. And this repeats. After a good time, there's always a bad. What we are seeing right now is something that we have not seen. And that's the fact that a down market is this bad and it's lasting for this long. But yeah, eventually I think the market is going to turn. Absolutely. Highway sucks. Yeah, it's been a pain in the butt. um where was I? Speaking of MCs, let's say I shut down the MC to take a break and open it back up. Does the years in business reset? If you shut down your MC, I am not sure. That's a great question. Anyone know? Oh, for a lot of vetting systems and brokerages, yes, it's considered a reset. There we go. Started binge watching all your videos from beginning. Single mom, new to trucking, but my license is 8 years old. I really want to learn how to dispatch. Do you have any suggestions, crash courses? Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for watching. Yes, I do have a dispatching course. It's on my website, truckingmadesuccessful.com. Dispatching course. Any news about the FMCSA disclosing the broker to carrier transparency ruling? There was supposed to be a release. Yes. Excellent question. I've been looking at that as well. As far as I know, it should happen at the end of this month. At the end of this month, no one is writing a single thing about it, though, which is a little bit concerning. Who are you taking the petition to? So I have already sent it to the OIDA. I have, this is before I even started the petition, I just sent the letter. I have already contacted the Federal Trade Commission, but now that we have the petition, I want to get as many signatures as possible and contact the OIDA again. They are aware of the issue. They didn't reply to me, but there was an article that came out yesterday. They're very aware of this issue with Carrier 411. Their phone number is blocked on Carrier 411. So I'm going to take this once we get enough signatures to the FMCSA, to the FTC again, to Pete Buttigieg, and anyone else you guys think of. I cannot find where to sign. Hold on, I'm going to send this again in this chat. My petitions. Share, copy link. Okay. Where is it? So this is the petition, you guys. I just put it in the chat. Hi, the right way. Thank you, Miranda, for getting on the issue. You mentioned there is a similar system to report bad brokers. Do you know why those never got any traction? That's a great question. I don't know. I know that OIDA tried to have a system similar to Carrier 411 for carriers to report brokers. I know that someone said Carrier Assure has that system. I know that there is, I believe it's called Broker 411. There are a lot of them, a lot of platforms, but they just don't get the same traction. And if they don't get the same traction, they are they're rendered useless. Because what these systems are supposed to do is to scare the other party. Carrier 411 does a great job of that because of how many subscribers to that system there are. Unfortunately, it's not the same for platforms where you can report brokers. I only said that because you reached out to him and got no response. No disrespect. Oh, Ron, I got it. No. I didn't think that you were disrespecting him at all. I did reach out to him, you're right, and I never got a response, but I don't know him. I mean, I don't know him. He seems to be, he seems like a pretty down-to-earth person, but who am I to judge? I don't know. You never really know, right? Ah. I ran a trucking company from 1990 to 2017. Corruption, sold out, looking back to trucking now. Yeah, it's not easy right now, for sure. It's corrupt, it's over-regulated, people are taking advantage of the fact that there really are more carriers than there are loads. It's just not a pretty situation. Miranda, do you think that electric trucks are the future? I think in the far off future, yes. But in the near future, no. There is no infrastructure for electric trucks. For electric trucks to work, there has to be such infrastructure where they're able to work. As far as I know, electric trucks right now can run, up to 500 miles and then have to recharge for a long time. A long time. It's just, it doesn't make sense. It's not efficient at the moment. But eventually, yeah. Eventually, yeah. Do you own trucks or just working as a dispatcher for carriers? I get this question a lot. I have never been a dispatcher. I started off as a carrier. I dispatch my own trucks under my own MC. Yeah, I have never been a dispatcher. How do you remove a freight guard against my company? An easy way. So before you could get a lawyer to remove it, but if it's been over 72 hours, see, like, it breaks my heart that this happens. I would still get in contact with someone who does a removal of freight guard reports and just get their advice, because I'm not an attorney. I'm not sure what you do in this situation. All I know is that this jackass of a CEO made these reports permanent after 72 hours, and he is a jackass. This is the nicest way I can put it. I'm gonna zip my mouth. Can you briefly tell me what the backstory is for the petition? Haven't gotten to the videos yet. Yeah. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with FreightGuard, but FreightGuard is a vetting tool that brokers use, thousands of brokers use, in order to figure out whether they're going to give a load to a carrier or not. Now, Carrier 411 has the possibility for brokers to file freight guard reports on carriers, and now these reports are permanent after 72 hours. Unfortunately, because carriers are not able to call Carrier 411, their number is blocked. That system doesn't allow for carriers to tell their side of the story or to fight a review if it's fake, which has happened before. And now also brokers have the ability to file freight guards for several more categories, such as if a carrier asks for extra pay, detention, tonneau, the weight is heavier than it was written in the rate confirmation, it's a freight guard. If a carrier works with people who are outside the United States or Canada, 50% of carriers more or less work with dispatchers who are not based in the United States to save money, freight guard. If you file against a broker's bond because they didn't pay, freight guard. It's a ridiculous system, and carriers have no way of removing these things. So there was a lawsuit that happened in 2022 where basically this guy was booked on a load that was picking up at 2 p.m. At 7:30 that morning, the broker started calling the driver. The driver was on his 10-hour break sleeping. So obviously he hung up the phone on the broker like he should have done. He should have switched off his phone altogether. It was 7:30 a.m. So the broker flipped out, had a meltdown, told the guy that he is an a-hole and that he lost the load, had a meltdown, and wrote a huge freight guard report calling this carrier a double broker, that the load was canceled without calling, like all of these things, just because the driver was on his 10-hour break and hung up the phone. And this broker refused to remove the freight guard. The carrier obviously lost a ton of business because the other brokers who are reading these reviews, they're thinking, oh, this is a double broker, not a carrier. So when they took it to court, basically the carrier won almost $500,000 in damages. Yeah, just because a broker had a meltdown over a driver taking his 10-hour rest, sleeping, and hanging up on the broker. This is the reality of Carrier 411. The bubble is already busted. What do you mean is the bottom will be hit? Up market has a bubble. Heading to the bottom. The capacity bubble, I mean. Carrier 411 back in the day was very useful for all brokers. I'm sure it was. I mean, I came into this industry in 2019. Carrier 411 obviously already existed. I'm sure it started out as something pretty good, pretty decent. It just grew into something really ridiculous. Thank you for signing the petition. I appreciate it. Alex probably gets so many messages. He got back to me once after email. Yeah, no, I'm sure he does. Oh my goodness. I mean, he has what, 500,000 subscribers at this point? And I'm just judging by I mean, I'm at 100,000. It's a lot, obviously, but nowhere near his channel size. And I'm not able to answer all the emails. So no hate towards Alex. I really enjoy his channel. I think it's very informative. I'd sign a petition to abolish hours of service. It doesn't protect drivers. It makes a criminal out of the honest man. I love how you said that. It makes a criminal out of the honest man. That's what overregulation does. Hours of service is one thing. ELD is quite another. I'm not going to get into the topic of what regulations I think should stay or go, but the fact that overregulation, whether from the government or from other people, yeah, it leads to dishonest people. It makes dishonest people of honest people, 100%. Follow that link and send to all your reps a message about the trucking industry. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the best bet, of course, is wow, what's going on with my hair? The best bet is, of course, the lawsuit, but it is very expensive. It grew into something tyrannical. Yep. It really is tyranny. Link for petition, sending it again. Is there a way for me to pin it? Can I pin it somehow? Okay, link for the petition, and let's pin message. I pinned it. It's at the top of the chat. Isn't 200 only people very few? What do you mean, 200 only people? Hello. Where can I sign the petition? It's at the top of the chat. It's pinned at the top. Hours of service should be completely up to the driver. I see what you mean. I mean, who knows? I mean, yeah, I see what you mean. Brokers are tightening the rope around overseas dispatchers, feeling sad for those who are providing reliable service to carriers. How do you see that? I didn't fully understand your comment. Speaking of brokers, are there any brokers in the chat? Any freight brokers? I'd be curious to see. Or did we scare them all away? I'm very curious to see if there are any. Ah, there we go, Dan. Okay, perfect. Dan, I mean, you spoke a little bit about, what did you say? Care back in the day was useful for all brokers. Okay, I see. Can you, All right, Dan, can you give us some? I would really love to hear from you. Have you, well, first of all, have you used Carrier 411? And is it something you rely on, or which system do you know that brokers, which system do brokers rely on most when vetting carriers? That's my biggest question. And do you trust Carrier 411? Get throttled? Yeah, I own my own trucking company. Alejandro, unfortunately, I do not provide authority services or company services. Let's see, Dan. We moved from them about 1.5 years ago. Finally went with Highway, which you hate. Got it. So basically, as far as I understand, are a lot of brokers doing that? Are a lot of brokers like moving away from Carrier 411 and going to Highway? Because I do see that a lot of brokers are starting to do everything through Highway. JB Hunt is one example. KCH, Kirsch, yeah, I think Kirsch. A lot of brokers are starting to move away from RMIS even and doing everything through Highway. Is that what is happening? I mean, I don't know if you know, but since you are a broker, maybe you see a different side that we do not see. Thank you, Aiden, for signing. How to close all Chicago Russian companies who rigging driver hours. Good question. Wait, you guys are getting in trouble for overseas dispatchers? No. So Freight Guard, Carrier 411 made a category where a broker can now write a freight guard against a carrier who works with people who are outside of the US or Canada, which means dispatchers. Yeah. Thank you, Ali, for signing. That is what I'm saying. My personal opinion is that Highway is just the new Carrier 411. Really? I wonder why a lot of people, I'm not a fan of Highway. Again, it blocked us because there were several things with that broker that we were trying to get set up with. Number one, we failed the assessment because we had no reefer breakdown insurance, even though we're a flatbed carrier. But the biggest one was the fact that we're a California carrier with a California address. I never really checked out. I mean, when I set up with a broker, I kind of do it really, really quickly. So I never really looked through the system. Why is it a new carrier 411? How is it the same? No broker is coming here to get roasted. No roasting. Freight brokers, not today. Because I think, again, it's funny. You think Carrier 411, you right away think of, those naughty freight brokers. But the reality is Carrier 411 just screwed freight brokers big time. Because freight brokers are now open to such horrific lawsuits. If there is a carrier with money who wants to go after a freight broker, brokers are basically, they're in a very bad position with what Carrier 411 did. So I'm just really curious. I would love to have, we have one freight broker here. who hates highway. That's becoming the new carrier 411, as he said. But I'd love to hear the opinions of freight brokers because I think they just got screwed as well. Carriers get screwed every day, but I think the system screwed brokers. Um, Signed almost 1K. Thank you so much for signing. Let's see, Dan, where are you, Dan? Highway has a lot of false positives as a broker. We're not allowed to tell you why you failed their assessment. They gatekeep that info. You know what, Dan? I noticed that even before Highway. We have there were brokers who would say, no, we can't work with you. And when I asked them why, they would not disclose it. It's a vetting system like Carrier 411 the brokers use to determine whether a carrier is reliable. You'll run into, 100%. The highway is a huge onboarding system now. Thank you, Dan, for providing some insight. Let's see. Can you describe your favorite lanes and why? My favorite lanes and why? I don't have any. The market is changing too quickly on a weekly basis for me to be able to have a favorite lane. It used to be Southern California to Dallas or Houston, Texas, because first of all, the road is really nice. Second of all, fuel is cheap. And third of all, there were loads in Texas, but now Texas is dead. So I don't really have favorite lanes. I choose the best wherever I am, like the best I can manage. Thank you so much for signing the petition Prestige Dispatching Service. Love it. Do you provide help with dispatching owners' new authority? I do not. I do not dispatch. I don't provide a dispatching service. I dispatch my own fleet, like my own trucks under my MC. um, Adam Smith, I never get to catch you live. You just did. Da, 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 da. What ghost logs? What are those? Sorry, reading the comments. Got an email for virtual 90-day inspections where they charge double brokers and you crawl around the truck on a video chat. Yikes. Oh my goodness. Spot market is terrible. I think nothing is going to really move one way or another until after the election. Every week is different. Yep, every week is different. I have no advice on how to fight a freight guard. I used to tell carriers to call carrier 411, but they've taken that option away. They aren't reliable anymore, so much so that brokers are moving to other systems. Unfortunately, the new system is just as broken. Got it. Well, see, it's good to know, at least, Dan, it's very nice to know that brokers also do not trust Carrier 411. Again, I'm sure that there are some reviews there that are truthful, but because of how it is set up, it opens the door to so many false reviews where it also, I mean, it just screws everyone over. It's a horrible system. I don't know much. I know that Carrier Assure has a lot of problems with their grading system right now. Maybe I'll do a video on it. Highway, I know, is just a pain in the butt. I felt very discriminated against for not being able to set up with a broker that we have worked with because of a California address. And it was also in an area where this broker was the only one who posted a normal rate. So that really sucked. But I don't think anyone beats Carrier 411. I know, stuck outside of Dallas, waiting on anything to get back north. Yeah, No, something happened in Texas. I actually looked for flatbeds. It's twice as many trucks as there are loads. Twice, a little bit over. Yeah, I always have a reefer insurance fail prompt with highway and they pass me through. Yeah, I've had the same thing, but what they don't pass me through on is the fact that the company address is a California address. And they explain it as, at least last time, they explained it as, well, we get a lot of fraud in California. To which I answered to them, I'm like, we just did a load with you guys. We did loads with you guys for 5 years. The address hasn't changed in 5 years. And they said that they cannot do anything. It was infuriating. Yes, thank you, Dan, for providing your perspectives. I agree. Thank you very much. Ghost logs are when a driver drives on somebody else's ELD account when he, oh wow. Hi, nice to see you there. Tell me, please, you've purchased. Oh yeah, no, no, no. I did not purchase an MCDOT. I started my MC in 2019, 2019. Seeing lots of great paying freight going to Florida. Yeah, I started seeing that there is more freight going to Florida and it's actually going up in price. Yeah, I've seen that too. But unfortunately, it's not enough to be able to, at least not from what I've seen, to be able to cover the deadhead out of Florida after. Anyway, guys, I know I have a lot of comments that I haven't gotten to, but unfortunately, I do have to run. I do appreciate the discussion. Thank you so much again, Dan, for providing some insight from a broker's perspective. I always appreciate it. Uh, and thank you guys. Thank you so much for signing the petition. And let's keep sharing and signing it because I really want this to come to the attention of the right person. It's very, very important. It's enough. Carriers have been scapegoats enough in this industry. And I think it's just time to do something about it. I'm not going to let it go personally. So I would really appreciate if you guys continued signing and sharing and letting other people know what's going on. Yeah. Where do you find it, Semi Trucker? It's on top. If you look at the top of the chat, I hope you can see it. It's on top of the chat, the link. But I'm going to send it again here so that you can sign. Thank you so much, Heriberto. I appreciate everyone who signed. Thank you so much. Everybody who shared, thank you very much. Dan, I overrule highway's determinations a few times. Yeah, I think highway, it's too cookie cutter, right? You can't, I mean, it makes things easier, I suppose, but you can't be so cookie cutter with, I mean, the vetting system can't be. Anyway, guys, again, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate the fact that we were able to have this discussion, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will probably be the market update on Thursday. Have a good day, you guys. Bye.